Laying out an ambitious plan in last night's State of the Union address. The U.S. president wants to strengthen the economy, protect the environment, impose tougher gun laws. But he can't act alone. He needs Congress, of course, especially Republican votes, to enact his plans. But can he get the bipartisan support he's calling for? Or, like in his first term, will he face the same roadblocks once again? It's time to find out. Let's go stateside. Joining me now from Washington, Lenwood Brooks, Policy Director of Public Notice, and in New York, Democratic strategist John Halenko. Both of you, good to see you. John Halenko, let me start with you. Obama put the middle class, many presidents do, in the heart of his address last night. What did you make of his address in terms of the scope of his agenda and how Republicans may respond?
Well, it's a very ambitious agenda. He's clearly pushing a very, very progressive direction in a way that he frankly was a lot more hesitant to do in his first term. He has won re-election. He won it commandingly. I believe only the third Democrat to win 51% or more twice, which is it's a big deal in U.S. history. So I think he's feeling very much like he has earned political capital, and he's going to spend it. Now, the Republicans will try and block it. There's no doubt. There is, frankly, a lunatic caucus that's in charge of the Republican Party, at least in the House. But President Obama is doing the smart thing. He's going above their heads and speaking to the American people. And that's something he's very good at.
I like how you're reaching across the aisle with those adjectives. Lenwood Brooks, what did you make of it?
Well, you listened to President Obama speak last night. He laid out about 20 new programs or initiatives. And he's going to do all that, he says, without adding a dime to the deficit. I mean, that is amazing to me. I think the most important part of the speech last night is we learned how he plans to spend his political capital, and, you know, we'll see how things unfold. The biggest takeaway to me was on gun control. That was his most passionate subject that he talked on last night, but there was so many issues that he covered. 20 new programs.
And, I mean, I guess the point is, I mean, State of the Unions are often laundry lists of these things. Which ones will he hit a roadblock in with the Republicans?
Well, I think many of them.
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Lenwood, go ahead.
I think, you know, there's many of them he will. I think some that will definitely get bipartisan cooperation is a bill in the Senate that requires colleges and universities to disclose more. So 18-year-olds that are going to college have an idea of what they can earn when they graduate from a university. So things like that will get bipartisan support.
Immigration reform may as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Immigration reform is a big issue. I think, you know, that looks like it's going to move. But there's many other issues that he raised that he's going to have stiff opposition from both the House and the Senate.
What do you think, John Halenko? What will his priorities in that long list be, and where will he hit roadblocks?
I think one of his big priorities, I think, is going to be gun control. I think it hit him in an emotional way, you know, and as a parent, I understand it. After watching the Newtown tragedy and other tragedies, I think America has hit a point where we finally said enough is enough, and President Obama not only endorsed more measures against gun violence, it was a full-throated endorsement. It was very emotional. Now, he's going to hit some resistance. And it's crazy that he should. Universal background checks, for example, checking for criminal records and mental health issues, has the support of 90% of Americans and 74% of NRA members. And yet, he's probably going to hit some real resistance among Republicans in the House in particular, which I just find mind-boggling. But he will. But I think he'll also, I think he'll push on multiple fronts, though, too.
What's that, Lenwood?
It's not just the Republicans in the House. If you look in the Senate, we're already looking forward to the next election. There's many Democrats in states that are very pro-gun. And besides what you think about the gun issue, I'm not making a case one way or the other. I'm just saying when you have senators from states like Louisiana, Colorado, Montana, Arkansas, Democrat senators from traditionally pro-gun states that are pro-National Rifle Association, I think it's be very hard, politically speaking, for any type of gun control to move this Congress with you needing 60 votes in the Senate to get something done.
I've got a couple minutes left. I want to get to the Republican response here. All right, now you had Marco Rubio, the Florida senator, who gave the response. He's, obviously casting him in this role was an attempt to address one of those key issues, which is that Hispanics did not vote Republican mainly in that election. He's supposed to help that. His performance last night was questioned because, and you can just play that clip. We don't even have to, we can just show the B-roll of him taking that sip of water. Now it's called his dry mouth problem, and Twitter went absolutely bonkers on this thing. But he wasn't the only response. Rand Paul also gave a response, the senator from Kentucky, from the Tea Party response. Lenwood, let me start with you. 2 responses from the Republicans. How riven is that party, and is that a problem?
Well, you know, it's not something that you see in the past. I mean, I think it's something that's new. I don't necessarily think it's a problem. You look at Marco Rubio, the Tea Party's entirely behind him. But back to the water issue, I mean, he just had recorded a long speech, 10 minutes plus in Spanish, before he gave that live response last night. And definitely Twitter was going crazy about the water bottle, and it did take away from some of the message that he was actually giving.
Yeah. What do you think about that, John?
I think Marco Rubio is going to have a very impressive career, but last night was not his finest hour. And, you know, I don't blame the guy for taking a drink. If you're thirsty, you need a drink. But he looked like a 6-year-old stealing a cookie. I mean, it was a very odd expression, and the way he lunged out. And I really do blame whoever set up that setting. I mean, in a dark room, alone, and coming right after a guy who's speaking before hundreds of clapping people. It was very odd stagecraft, and I think he hurt himself. And I kind of feel like it was undeserved. But whoever did set that up, they should hire someone different next time.
I mean, are we making too much of this, Lenwood Brooks? But, you know, remember, these are critical moments. I mean, did Marco Rubio's kind of ascension, the ready for prime time alternative for the Republicans, take a hit last night because of that incredibly awkward moment?
No, I don't think so. Yes, it was very awkward, but, you know, it's always hard to follow the president of the United States in these responses, no matter what party you're in. And look, most people can't tell you who gave the response last year or the year before. I think many people will quickly forget about what happened last night with Senator Rubio.
All right, before I let you go, real quick, climate change. Did Obama signal that he will move on? In your view, John, let me start with you. Cap and trade or carbon tax? I know Barbara Boxer will introduce some legislation on carbon tax. Cap and trade or carbon tax?
I hope he tries at least one of them. The challenge is we're I believe, the only industrialized democracy that has a major party that still denies climate change is happening. That's going to make it hard to pass something.
Lenwood?
Well, look, you know, they tried to do this 2009, 2010, when they were able to pass health care reform. They couldn't even get a majority of their own conference in the Senate to pass this. So, you know, I think there's no question that cap and trade is dead in Congress, but President Obama might try to address this issue through the regulatory process, the Environmental Protection Agency.
He tried that in the first term. He said he's going to go farther. We're watching closely, certainly in this country. Lenwood Brooks, John Halenka, great to have both of you on. Take a drink.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, still ahead on Power and Politics.